Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. I wish I could take credit for the weather. Not taking credit for the Mariners, but there's still hope. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful day for our fall 2022 board meeting. Hopefully you had a chance to walk through campus this morning. Things are abuzz. Students, they're setting up on Red Square for W Day, and we're going to start it out here. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to our Foundation Board Emeritus Directors who are joining us this morning. We're thrilled to have you here with us, and thank you for your time and your commitment to the University of Washington. We appreciate you staying connected. I'd like to open the meeting with a land acknowledgement. The University of Washington acknowledges the Coast Salish peoples of this land, the land which touches the shared waters of all tribes and bands within the Suquamish, Tulalip, and Muckleshoot nations. In this morning's meeting, we welcome our new class of board members, conduct board business, and discuss UW business. This portion of our meeting here in Founders Hall is 1 hour in length, and we will all reconvene at 10:30 a.m. in the Intellectual House. We will gather with fellow UW volunteer leadership, UW Alumni Association Board of Trustees, UW Retiree Association Board, the University Bookstore Board, and the UW Converge participants. And we'll celebrate our return to campus and the excitement with the start of a new academic year. It's also W Day, and we look forward to homecoming tomorrow and a win from the Huskies. Mike Egan will be our MC in part 2 of the meeting in the Intellectual House. I refuse to follow Mike, so that's the way it works out. We'll also hear from President Kelsey in her Insider's Corner, and we'll discover how the University of Washington is breaking barriers on the vaccine front. We'll learn the exciting work that the Cancer Vaccine Institute and the School of Pharmacy is doing from bench to market. Before we get started, I'd like to call on our host here, Frank Hodge, the Orrin and Janet Smith Dean, as he hosts us here in the Foster School's beautiful new space. Frank?
You deserve a hand. Thank you, Patrick, and welcome everyone to Founders Hall. We're really proud of this building. I think it is the greenest building on campus. So we did a study, and this building, over its initial 60-year life, will have a 76% less carbon footprint than a traditional concrete and steel building. And we're very proud of that because we have a purpose statement, which is our North Star. And we try to do everything in the Foster School that's true to that North Star. And that North Star starts with together. We want to create a welcoming, inclusive environment where we come together to better humanity through business. So it's not about bettering businesses, it's about bettering humanity through business. And we wanted to live that through this building. And I'll give you just a couple of examples of how we're doing that. The cards that you got that are on your seat, those cards reflect the 2 native art projects in the building. We commissioned 2 native artists to do the projects. First one starts at the fountain outside, and there are bronze salmon that are embedded in the ground. They are the 5 most prominent species in the Pacific Northwest, what are referred to as red gold. They were a part of this economy thousands of years before we got here. So we're paying tribute to that. They come all the way up to the 5th floor to reflect that salmon swim upstream to get to their spawning grounds. The second project, it's in the common space. If you haven't seen it, please do. As you go on the 1st floor and go to exit, go to the left. And there are 5 custom prints, and they're shown on the cards as well. And that was also created by a native artist. So that's one way that we're trying to pay respect and honor the land on which this building sits. Another is we have 5 team rooms that are named after each of the 5 branches of the military. And we have a screen that it's not active quite yet, but we will display all of the veterans that have graduated from the Foster School, and we'll continually update that through time. That's also to be inclusive to that community, which is so important to us. The very first Black faculty member of the Foster School was Thaddeus H. Spratlin. Many of you know Thad, who unfortunately passed away recently. We have a inclusive and diversity lounge called the Spratlin Lounge for Inclusion and Diversity down on the 2nd floor. That's another way that we're trying to pay respect to our community in this building. So those are just a couple of examples, and there are many more. I could go on. I know we have to follow a schedule. I'd love to talk to you about the building, so if anyone else wants to reach out afterwards, please do. The second thing I'll mention is you might be asking, well, what are you doing now that you've built all these beautiful buildings? We've been building buildings for about 18 years, right? Packard Hall first, and then Dempsey Hall. Thank you, Neil. And then Founders Hall. And if you want to know more about the Founders, it's right out there in Founders Gallery. We are turning our attention to three primary things: supporting faculty, mainly through endowments, supporting students through scholarships, and experiential learning. Taking those seeds we plant in the classroom and allowing them to bloom and to grow in outside activities, like our Global Business Center, our Consulting and Business Development Center, which provides free consulting to underserved communities, the Burke Center for Entrepreneurship. Those all take money to run, and so we'll be raising funds for those. And the last thing, and I'll finish on this, is we're not just trying to do things incrementally better or harder than we've done them before. We're raising money to try to do things differently. We want to bring faculty together with students in a different way. So we're exploring some options where we would break the model, the siloed model on campus, and bring people together to try to solve today's real-world unstructured problems in new ways. And I think you have to get people out of their comfort zone to do that. And if you can tell, I'm excited about this. So I look forward to talking to you. And I mean it, if you want to tour this building or you want to chat later, just reach out to me. Welcome, and thank you for being here. Patrick?
Thanks, Frank. I know he'd be willing to talk to you more. He told me that before he got up here. Some fun news and facts as we embark on a new school year. Convocation first. The UW's incoming class, one of the university's largest and most diverse, were welcomed at the new student convocation last month at the Alaska Airlines Arena for the first time since 2019. The ceremony set attendance records with more than 7,500 students, family, and friends filling the arena to capacity. The incoming class represents nearly 15% from underrepresented minorities and 23% first-generation students. Students are back on campus. 3,600 families registered for UW Family Weekend. About 10,000 students moved into campus. In terms of rankings, the UW is number 17 in the world and number 3 among U.S. public universities, according to the 2022 Academic Ranking of World Universities that was released just this past August. This year, the ranking included 1,000 universities from around the world. The Huskies return for the homecoming game tomorrow against Arizona. We need to win one, right, Carrie? I think we're due. They opened the season with 4 straight wins and obviously have had a tough road swing, so it's good to have them home. Following tomorrow's game, the Dogs return to the road to face California on October the 22nd. It's not in the script, but try to catch the first part of the Mariners game before the Husky game starts. They need your support. And now I'd like to welcome our new deans and campus leaders. First, for university advancement, Tamara Josserand, who's the Vice President for Development. Welcome. We also have some new deans. Tim Dellett is the interim CEO of UW Medicine and interim dean of the School of Medicine. Tamara F. Lawson, Tony Rembe, Dean of the School of Law. Welcome. Peggy Odegaard is the interim dean of the School of Pharmacy. And Andre Ritter, dean of the School of Dentistry. Welcome new presidents and vice provosts. Andreas Bowman, vice president, UW-IT. And Tanya Edie, interim vice provost for academic personnel. We also welcome Sherry Burdine, the director of tribal relations. And now on to UW updates. future visioning. We've talked about this before. This past year, the Foundation Board has been engaged in strategic future visioning work surrounding its purpose, structure, and impact on the University of Washington. Over the past many months, our core team has engaged in monthly discussions and has hosted a series of conversations with a variety of stakeholders regarding the future of our board. These groups included current board members, past board members, equity leaders across our campuses, deans and chancellors, and advancement leaders. Thank you for all of you who participated in that process. We did collect an immense amount of data and input that led us to better understand the strengths of the Foundation Board as well as the opportunities available to us. So the core team has now turned its attention to translating all of that feedback and conversations into a set of recommendations that we will bring back to the board. We look forward to sharing those with you. And now, new director introductions. I'm pleased to introduce our incoming class of new directors. Our new cohort met last month at the new director orientation, and I can't wait for the rest of you to get to know them. I'm going to ask each of you to stand up and just introduce yourself and say, you know, what drew you to join us. Is Keith here?
Wanted to join, thank you. It's great.
Perfect. Judy Howard.
Not sure if I can beat Keith for the amount of time that So I'm Judy Howard. I'm representing the graduate school director. And I'm a longtime faculty member at the university. Came here in 1982, know some of you for quite a few years. I'm now a professor emeritus in the departments of sociology and gender, women, and sexuality studies. And I served as the divisional dean in College of Arts and Sciences, divisional dean for social sciences for the 12 years prior to my retirement. And I'm still, like Keith, who wanted to be here, I'm still pretty active at the university, and particularly with the Retirement Association, whose board is going to be joining us soon. So it's great to be here.
Welcome. Claudia Kaufman, are you in the room? Okay, let's see. I know Chris Lambright's in the room.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Chris Lambright. I'm currently the UW AA board president, so that's makes me ex officio on this board, but it's wonderful to be here with all of you. Great to be in this building. I'm a 1986 graduate of the business school, so these buildings are all very different than when I was here. So wonderful to see that progress and appreciate the opportunity.
Wonderful. And Joe McKinstry's right next to you.
Well, good morning, everybody. Hi, I'm Joe McKinstry. I represent the Burke, which we now call the New Burke, up on the northwest corner of the campus. I hope you all get to see the building, which when we opened, we closed. And so now we've reopened, and that's the way it's been going for everybody. But if y'all want a tattoo, we're going to have a body language exhibit in November 6th at the museum. But there's wonderful things happening there, all the way from bumblebees to T-Rexes. So we encourage you to come and visit. Thanks.
Great. Sarah, do you want to go next?
Sure. A couple options. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Moseman. A lot of familiar faces here. I'm an at-large director, a new one, and I want to thank those that nominated me. I thought it was a prank at first, but now seeing the future vision and where this board is going, I'm really happy to be here. My background, a lot of ties to the UW. I was undergrad here, played basketball for the Huskies, came back from my MBA at Foster. Thanks, Frank, for that advice, wherever you are. And now I work in sports, which is kind of cliche, but they just provided a lot for me, and so very grateful to pay that forward. I'm a co-founder of the Athlete Career Lab, so we help athletes transition to business faster, and then I am an owner of a global sport event management company. So we do football bowl games, preseason basketball tournaments, things like that. So I'm gonna meet every one of you, and I can't wait. Pumped.
Thanks, Sarah. If only we could coax her out of her shell. Raquel Russell, are you with us? There you go.
Hi everyone, my name is Raquel Russell. I did not go to the University of Washington, but I moved here in 2014, fell in love with the city of Seattle, quite frankly, she's not in here, but she was somewhere. Morgan McGinn, one of my dear friends from college, is from this area, works at UW, and I came to visit her in the summer of 2012, and literally just fell in love with the city, and I was like, I have to get here. So moved here, got involved in the community, and UW is such a huge part of what makes Seattle, Seattle, that it's just exciting and an honor to serve on this board. My day job is that I work as a vice president at Zillow and have been there for about 8 years. I can't wait to meet everyone. I may not be as... Okay. I don't know about that, but thanks everyone.
And then I think he's here, my former law school classmate, Don Theophilus. Where's Don? Oh, he's not here. Well, he's no stranger to this group. Obviously, long time involvement with advancement in UW medicine, and a recovering lawyer like me. Sherelle, speaking of someone who's no stranger, Sherelle Walker.
Thank you so much, Patrick. I'm Sherelle Walker, and I am a Husky, but I'm a Yukon Husky, so don't hold that against me. I'm married to Clyde Walker, so he's been here longer than me, so that's okay, right? All right, so I represent the College of Education and healthcare are kind of my focus areas. The Rainier Valley Early Learning Center that we're trying to get started at the College of Ed. We're still working on the Brotherhood Initiative and the Sisterhood Initiative, which I'll talk to you more about in the future. But we're moving forward, and the focus is to get more of our children, especially our children of color, to graduate from predominantly white universities and have a significant opportunity for a great future. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Wonderful. And last but not least, David Zeke.
My name's Dave Zeke. I'm an ex officio member of the board because of my job this year as chair of the Board of Regents. I fell in love with the University of Washington when I moved to Tacoma as editor of the News Tribune about 30 years ago, and saw the marriage of that community and that university and what the university did, how it powered the renaissance of Tacoma, and has become such an integral part of everything in that community. I was on the advisory board there, was chair of the advisory board for 10 years and did a lot of lobbying for the U, and so my love for the university has grown. I'm the retired publisher of the newspapers and media sites in Bellingham, Olympia, and Tacoma, and I also serve as, I'm a civilian aide to the Secretary of the Army, which is a volunteer job that tries to connect military with communities, so I'm also trying to do that with the University of Washington and the folks at JBLM. Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you. So let's give a warm welcome to all of our new directors. And please make an effort to introduce yourself and welcome them. So as a reminder, for one more year, my cabinet will consist of Ken Denman as vice chair, Corinne Wright as immediate past chair, Lisa Simonier as treasurer, Molly Nordstrom as secretary, and Mary Gresh as board president. Molly Nordstrom is traveling, so I will deliver her secretary's report. Our voting procedures occur online with our platform Board Effect. As a reminder, all at-large directors for life, representative, and ex officio directors have full voting rights. If you see a notification from Board Effect asking for your vote, please do so. The consent agenda was sent to the board this past Friday via Board Effect, and thank you to everyone who submitted your vote. We received a quorum, and so the consent agenda has been approved. In addition, in your meeting packets that you received via Board Effect, that includes 2 documents for your information that I just wanted to draw your attention to. The recently restated UW Foundation bylaws and the amendment to Agreement of Services by and between the UW and the UW Foundation. For your information, excuse me, the restated bylaws and the UW Foundation Agreement for Services were approved by the University Foundation Board Executive Committee this past summer and the Board of Regents on June the 9th. I'd like to begin with the revisions to the foundation bylaws. The most substantive of these changes is the reassignment of the role of president of the foundation from the vice president development to the senior vice president of Development, who is Mary Gresh, as you all know. This change reflects that the scope of the foundation's partnership with university advancement includes all aspects of the UW's integrated advancement model: fundraising, marketing and communications, engagements, and operation. Welcome, Mary, to the president of the board. We're really glad to have you. With regard to the terms of the current agreement for services, the University of Washington Foundation accepts gifts on behalf of the University of Washington. In March of 2022, the Board of Regents approved a restructure wherein the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center will be operated as a clinically integrated part of UW Medicine. In furtherance of that agreement, the university has entered into a philanthropy services agreement wherein the Hutch will be responsible for and authorized to conduct all fundraising strategies and activities in support of adult oncology. This amendment allows the UW Foundation to accept gifts in support of the Hutch's adult oncology program, supporting the terms outlined in the agreement. Did you get all that? Okay, perfect. As you know, we're fundraising to restore the ASUW Shell House, the iconic and historic structure on the waterfront that will soon become famous to the whole world in the upcoming movie The Boys in the Boat, directed by George Clooney. That movie is going to be released in 2023. So the space is being reimagined as a community and gathering space for all of us, where the lessons of the past inspire new ways of thinking and collaborating and spark our collective potential. I'm just sort of assuming that everyone in the room has read The Boys in the Boat at least once, and if not, please do it. We're on an aggressive timeline to gather enough private support to secure a legislative match this year in the time of the final phase of the campaign, with the movie premiere to follow. I'm happy to report that we've received $12 million total towards our construction goal of $15.5 million by the end of the calendar year. So we have $3.5 million to go. That will enable us to get a $3 million match from the state legislature for operating expenses. I would like to thank the following people who have made lead gifts to the project: Brad Smith and Kathy Smith, Microsoft Philanthropies, Mark Torrance, John Stanton and Terry Gillespie, Challenge Seattle, Bruce and Jeannie Nordstrom, Charles and Lisa Simonier, Pete and Laurel Scheimer, Maggie Walker, and most recently, the National Park Foundation, which named the Shell House one of America's treasured spaces. My wife Karen and I are also pleased to join this group of donors. I encourage any of you who might be able to contribute to this project at the leadership level or any level to get in touch with Mary Gresh as soon as possible. Later in the meeting, you'll hear more about the Shell House from President Kause, and if you have not been down there for a tour, please also reach out so we can do that. Now I'd like to call on Mary Gresh for her update on university advancement.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you all. Actually, it is wonderful to see you all. It's the energy and the delight I have getting to see you and knowing that we're in this, excuse me, the smoke. Are we all just kind of, oh, yeah. In this spectacular building. I told Frank I am stunned at how beautiful this building is. It is just incredible. I too want to welcome our new board members. It's a delight to have you with us. We have an exciting year ahead, and I want to start my comments. My role here is to provide some fundraising updates in addition to advancement updates, but I want to start by noting that as we come back in community, and let me point that our President Kause here, can we just have a moment? There is no one back in community more than President Kause. I think her shoes are probably down to the nubs at this point, how much she's been around campus and in events everywhere. But all of us who have been back in community with our students, with all of you over the past 2 months or so, as we've really got our energy going, I have been so struck by, literally at every event I have been to, every engagement, the imprint of philanthropy on those engagements. I think in one day, in the first week that school was back, we went to the groundbreaking for the interdisciplinary education or engineering building. Sorry about that, Dave and Nancy. And incredible, Amazon and Boeing, just incredible private support in addition to individuals, joy in that room, joy from the students who are so excited to have their education and learning there. Then we drove as fast as we could without being obnoxious about it, down to the Rainier Valley, to the Rainier Valley Early Learning Center dedication and sort of campaign push, I guess I would call it, under the light rail station to talk about the incredible philanthropic support that will make that a reality, a deep contribution and service with community, the Costco Scholarship Breakfast. These are all things that have already occurred, and we're on week 3, I think, of the quarter. Thousands of students, thousands of opportunities and lives changed. It's just been a complete inspiration to be back with all of you. The other piece of this that I think I'll note, and I saw my friend Connie here, and she's hiding because she's trying to be, where are you, Connie? We love you, Connie. Delighted. She's here as an emeritus director. We love having Connie with us. So I want to say to you, Connie, one of the great fruits of this, and to all of you, has also been when you see the Boundless campaign and suddenly the fruits of the Boundless campaign, look at this building, came through the Boundless campaign. The power of what we can do together is simply extraordinary. So thank you all for being here. My advancement update will cover just a couple things, and then I'll work forward here. As you know, we have been involved in deep work in diversity, equity, and inclusion in advancement. As we've come back in community, of course, we've had to think and act in ways that are different than we have in the past, different, better, more inclusive. It's been a joyful and profound engagement as we've done this as a team and done this in partnership with many of you. I recently provided an update on advancement's equity work to the Board of Regents, and I'll share a few highlights of that with you here. But I want you to know this is our work day in, day out in advancement in shared equity leadership. And the team is deeply engaged, and I want to call special attention here to Clyde Walker, who chairs the Foundation Board's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee and is an incredible mentor, coach, and friend to me in this work and in all work related to our leadership in advancement. And we have, as a result of excellent work by our team, by the engagement of the committee, a DEI strategic plan. We have a set of accountable actions. We deeply, as advancement leadership, commit to shared equity leadership, which is essentially that we understand our personal journeys in equity work, we commit to them, and we grow together as leaders. And in that personal commitment, we move the flywheel for the organization across many parts of the organization with community through our engagements to move that work through on a daily basis and break down and work through the structures and barriers to having a very inclusive community, both within advancement, within the university, and throughout our communities. We look forward to working on this more deeply with all of you. It is a big part of our organizational flywheel, and I think one of the reasons you see the deep success and engagement we have as an organization. I'm shifting now to a report, and I'm a storyteller, so know that this is very difficult for me. I'm going to go through the numbers, but I'm also going to give some color to that as I do. There's one of the things I've said from the podium when I was in the Vice President for Marketing and Communications role was I felt like I had the best job in the university because my job was to know all the incredible stories of impact coming out of the University of Washington. Now I still have the second greatest job because Anna Maria has the greatest. But I now sign gift agreements. And so what I see in the depth of what you all do, the large and small, significantly across the university, the depth of what philanthropy does to propel this institution from UW-Medicine, the incredible work that we do in so many arenas, our patients, the grateful patients the stories we hear from. Many of you know, you probably all know, that gift agreements have a place where you can write why you made the gift and why it's significant to your family, to the organization. Those stories in and of themselves will make you cry. Tamara's signing these too. It's just amazing. But seeing those combined with the stories, it's truly just an incredible privilege to work with you all in community. And we as an advancement team never forget it. And I want you to know that. It's just truly, truly remarkable. So today I will report on some numbers that represent what we have the pleasure of seeing every day from all of you. As directors, you receive a summary of private support at the end of each quarter. If you look you'll see the first report in about mid-October. We're still crunching October at this point. It reflects activity from July 1st through September 30th. The SPS, as we fondly call it, reflects cash receipts and does not include grants originating from a federal or government source. It's what the university relies on, by way of example, for budgeting and presentations to bond rating agencies, which have cited our growth in philanthropy as a factor in their confidence in our institution's fiscal health. Before we look ahead to this year, I want to quickly reflect on and acknowledge the success of FY22, the generosity of you and our community. It was again a year representative of the word pivot, as we slowly began the transition out of COVID into a new normal. Our generous community contributed $614 million last year, an incredible achievement and the testament of so many in this room. That $614 million surpassed our projection of $570 million and was a result of the wonderful support of more than 152,000 donors, individuals, organizations, and foundations who continue to see great value in partnering with and investing in the UW. Once again, this is familiar to many of you. More than 70% of our donors were not alumni. They are people in our community. They are organizations here and nationally and internationally who see the deep, deep work the university does and its incredible impact on the world. Additionally, $100 million of our cash contributions were endowed gifts, which counters a national trend of decreased endowment giving. Both our gifts and grants were strong last year, setting us up well for the future. And our future is bright. We are pleased to share our fundraising projection for this year is $662 million, an audacious yet achievable forecast set collaboratively through the work of our chief advancement officers and our planning and finance teams. We submit this goal with the knowledge that we are back again, we have the ability again to be in person, and we also engage with some of our younger philanthropists, that generation, those generations, in other creative ways. We have several digital philanthropy officers now. We are meeting people where they are in community and as individuals in their capacity. It reflects confidence from UW families, individuals, organizations, and we are partnering with you, as you know, with a strong desire for scalable, positive impact in our community and beyond. These numbers also reflect the powerful leadership of our new deans. We introduced a few of them today. We have an incredible cohort of new deans who have, I think part of their desire to be at the University of Washington, have seen a president who is proclaiming we seek to be the greatest public university in the world as measured by impact. They have creative, cross-disciplinary ideas. They are boundless in their enthusiasm and aspirations. And this forecast seeks to provide the kind of runway so we can have the kind of sort of audacious approach to large ideas where the university can make a significant difference in the world. And here's the progress we've made so far. As of yesterday, more than 65,000 donors have contributed $141 million to the university. Again, this is cash in the door, not pledges. You may have heard about a few pledges this week, not sure. And we are on pace with our fiscal year-to-date progress. It's an exciting year ahead for advancement and for the university, and we look forward to working together with you to accomplish great things. Your generosity and your support of the university through your connection and advocacy, again, are essential to continuing this work. As I noted, we shared earlier this week the news about the Fred Hutchinson cancer gift and also Molly Nordstrom Sloan and Stuart Sloan's previous contribution. I want to say here that I think this exemplifies the power of when we can work together with great enthusiasm and partnership and think about what really matters in this world. What do we need to do as this university in partnership with the incredible, incredible partners we have in this community?
Wow. Thank you, Mary. Okay, are we at time? Is it time to move on? We're going to have a transition to the intellectual house. So this part of our meeting is going to be adjourned. Please make your way to the intellectual house where President Kelsey will share some information with us. We'll have a presentation from faculty in UW Medicine and Pharmacy and a unique convening of our volunteer boards and lunch. So please keep your name badges on. A bit of housekeeping. If you didn't sign your conflict of interest form on the way in, please do it on the way out. And then where's Dan Hugh Weller? Dan, come on up here. Dan's gonna be the Pied Piper to lead you over. We don't want to lose anyone on the way. So Dan, take it from here.
All right, I think I'm gonna grab a flag back there, and it's just gonna be like those tour groups. I don't know if you've ever been to Tiananmen Square or anything, but they've got these massive tour groups, got billions of people over there, and they all want to see it's just like Washington, D.C., and they got these tour guides with a big flag. So I'm gonna grab that flag in the back of the room, march down the center aisle here, and then we're gonna stroll on over to our next stop. So look forward to joining you over there.